Homicide investigations underway after 18-year-old Akira Wilson was shot dead inside a northeast Washington, D.C. hotel room. At around 9:50 p.m. on Saturday the 19th of November, the authorities responded to the Hilton Garden Inn, located at 1225 First Street Northeast, after receiving a call from inside the hotel that someone had heard a gunshot. When officers arrived, they found the door to the room was ajar, and when they went inside, they found Akira unresponsive with a gunshot wound. At 11:27 p.m, she was declared dead. Police said that a person of interest was captured by a surveillance camera. The person can be seen wearing dark clothing and a mask that covers the bottom half of his face. Toni Cole, Akira's mother, said that her daughter told her that she was going to the movies that night with a friend. Hours later, Toni said that she was receiving phone calls that her daughter was dead. "I don't understand why someone would do this to my daughter. I don't see how she deserved this in any way." She said Akira did not go out with the friend she was told about, but she instead went out with a different friend, and she suspects that her friend's boyfriend killed her. Akira's family said that they believe there was a party on the 10th floor at the hotel when the shooting happened. Toni said, "My daughter was found in a room with nobody there, and that's my problem." Akira was a student at Jackson Reed High School in Northwest Washington, D.C. Toni said she was focused on going to college, where she wanted to study mortuary science, and said she had dreams of owning her own business. Police have not released a possible motive in the case. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Homicide investigations underway after the skeletal remains of a missing 17-year-old Maryland high school girl were discovered earlier this month. On the 11th of October, the Greenbelt Police Department announced that Rosa Diaz Santos was missing. She was reportedly last seen at around 7:30 a.m. on the 22nd of September, leaving her home at the Franklin Park apartment complex to attend Eleanor Roosevelt High School, which is only about 2 miles away. She was seen wearing blue ripped jeans, a black sweater, and black and white Crocs. At around 12:30 p.m. on the 15th of November, Rosa's skeletal remains were found in a wooded area by the National Park Police, behind some homes along the 1600 block of Drexel Street, near Sligo Creek in Tacoma Park. The medical examiner's office confirmed the identity of the victim to be Rosa, and determined that she suffered trauma to head and body, and her death was ruled a homicide. Rosa's mother said that her daughter had recently got involved with a gang, and was staying away from home for days at a time, and said to her mother, "Don't cry when you find me dead somewhere," she said. No arrests have been made to date. Detectives are working to determine a motive and identify any potential suspects in the case, as the investigation into the matter continues. A Texas gas station clerk has been arrested after shooting at a customer who broke a jar of salsa. 22-year-old Brandon Miranda was taken into custody on Friday the 18th of November after the authorities responded to a disturbance call at a workplace in Atascocita. When officers arrived at the scene, they learnt that Miranda told a male customer to leave the store. The two argued, at which point the man broke a jar of salsa before storming outside. Miranda allegedly followed the man outside and retrieved a handgun from a car before firing at him twice. It's unclear if the man was injured in the fight. Police then booked Miranda into the Harris County Jail on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Her bail is set at $20,000. Walmart manager 31-year-old Andre Bing opened fire on fellow employees in the break room of a Chesapeake, Virginia store, killing 6 people. The incident occurred at around 10:12 p.m. on the 22nd of November at the store located at 1521 Sam Circle, when the authorities received a report of a shooting and responded to the scene. The gunman, who apparently shot himself, was dead when the officers found him. There's no clear motive for the shooting, which also put at least 4 other people in hospital. The store was busy just before the attack that night, as people stocked up ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. Employee Brianna Tyler, who had worked at the store for 2 months, said the overnight stocking team of about 15 people were gathered in the break room to go over their morning plan. As soon as the team was set to start, she looked up, and the manager turned around without saying a word and opened fire on the staff. "It's by the grace of God that a bullet missed me," she said. "I saw smoke leaving the gun, and I literally watched bodies drop," she said. "It was crazy. At first, I didn't think the shooting was real. It was all happening so fast. I thought it was like a test type of thing. Like if you have an active shooter, this is how you respond," she said. "He was just shooting all throughout the room. It didn't matter who he hit. He didn't say anything. He didn't look at anybody in any specific way," she said. There was always something going on with him just having an issue with someone, but I never expected it would get to this level. He was a manager that everybody had something to say about, she said. Some employers have speculated it was a planned and targeted attack. Employee Jessie Wilczewski, who'd only worked at the store for 5 days, said she hid under a table. She said she could hear the gunman laugh while several of her co-workers were shot. She said the shooting briefly stopped when the manager turned and looked at her with his pistol pointed at her. He then told her to go home, and she left. He didn't even look real until you could feel the pow pow pow. I couldn't hear it at first because it was so loud. I could feel it, she said. On the morning of the 23rd of November, police raided the shooter's 3-bedroom home in Chesapeake, which is about 3 miles from the store. One of the victims is 22-year-old Tanika Johnson, who was named by her family on the 23rd of November. Other victims' names will not be released by authorities until next of kin are advised. The investigation into the matter continues,